Hello, and welcome to All We Do is Plough On and Prosper in a world where the light is almost there and we're going to step into it and live our best party-filled summers. I am Tom Elwes. I'm joined as ever by my co-host, Mr. Ali Woods.
Yo, yo, yo! What the hell was that intro, Tom? That was funny, though. I liked it. There's about 3 words in there that I think I've never, ever heard you say.
Party-filled.
Party-filled, prosperous summer.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, anyway, thank you so much. I want to say straight off the bat today, thank you, everyone who came to the Ali Woods show last night. I'm still buzzing off of it. Not even 24 hours since the show. But you know me and Tom keep pushing out that content. You know
Hustle.
it. Not even 24 hours after. And we are here with you once again. We'll never leave. We're not going. As we've been told by many comedy industry people in the past, we're not going anywhere.
No. Here to stay, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
For everyone who listened, who was there, I would like to thank you because was incredible. Very fun. It was a great evening. Something I learned about Ali. What a bloody big diva he is before the show. That was hilarious. That made me laugh so much. Tech support trying to help. He's like, give me a second. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, continue. Perfection is on this man's brain, ladies and gentlemen. Perfection 100.
As I said, I mean, yes. Firstly, I was a bit short of it before because I was like, because then they were like, I was like, how is this actually going to work? I thought it was all going to be through one platform, and then it wasn't. So there was a switcheroo, and also
2 platforms. Classic.
And we had to sort of improvise on the thing as well. And we got told 3 times you're live, and then be like, stop, you guys, you're on live. So I think what I didn't like, there was improvisation from all parts. That's fine. But what I didn't like was the fact of, this is very simple. You've just got to click this link, then tell them to click another link and go into the email.
Guys.
Don't mute this, but don't start until and I was like, just tell the thing what to do.
Yeah.
The second thing is that at halftime, Man United were 2-1 down after going 1-0 up against Roma. And I wasn't in the best mood anyway. But
to be fair, when you have to tell your entire online audience to click another link, it is quite stressful. I will give you that.
It was long, and also watch one thing in one section, but then mute in the other, and then the Q&A, and then they were like, "We're going to WhatsApp you," and we're like, "Well, we haven't got WhatsApp on their laptops," and they was like, "Well, get WhatsApp on your laptop." And I was like, "No, this is my show. I'm not gonna start changing my laptop just because it's easy for you." It was a bit of back and forth, but it was all friendly. And I do want to say big shout out to the people at Gignify who are very lovely and
did a great job.
Yeah, made the show happen and were the ones who came to me with the idea to do it anyway. So big shout out to them. Thank you. Big shout out as well to the people who messaged me afterwards saying they enjoyed it. Absolutely fantastic. It was really lovely to read those. Really appreciate it. And I just want to read out. And look, there was lots of good stuff that got sent through, but this one, I think.
Sorry, you don't need to read. You don't need to read your fan mail on here. This isn't Ali Woods DMs podcast. What's going on here?
Tom, this may be the only fan mail I ever get. So
okay, you can read a couple, but then we're moving on.
You're in it. That's why I picked it as well, because you're in it.
Okay.
This is from Jess. Thank you very much, Jess. Don't know if you listen to the podcast, but thank you for coming to the show. I literally had the best time. Was so amazing and funny. You and Tom had such good banter, which is the first time that's ever been said. So fair play. And made everyone feel so welcome and part of it. Well done. Really hope to see you sell out at Wembley. Just remember your humble fans. Thanks for an amazing evening. All the best for the future, and you can count on my support all the way, which is absolutely lovely. So thank you very much, Jess. And thank you very much to everyone who did come along, send their lovely messages afterwards. It was jokes. Did you enjoy it, Tom?
I did. And I will quickly say here, if you want to listen to all the negative messages that Ali was sent after the show, you can subscribe to our Patreon and we'll be reading them out on the bonus episode on Tuesday. Because the list is long. There's a lot of people who are like, you're a piece of shit. What are you doing? Go home. Like, you've ruined my evening. Yeah, if you want to hear that, if you want to hear the good shit, subscribe to our Patreon and we'll read them out on Tuesday.
That was a waste of my time and money. Couldn't believe in a global pandemic it could get even more boring. The sad thing is, Tom, is they're the ones I respond to. I don't reply. The nice ones, I'm like, oh, thanks, that's lovely. Don't reply to it. But the ones I'm like, you know what, mate? Fuck you, right?
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't know good comedy, but hit you in the fucking face, you twat.
Yeah.
That's the Charlotte, age 13 or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, I haven't seen any bad ones first, apart from my sister who who just messaged me straight after it finished. Well done, that wasn't too weird.
Solid.
Which is a good thing. But thank you very much for taking part, Tom. If you didn't watch it, Tom was doing the Q&A, and then also we just had a big Zoom call with the VIP people, which was
hanging out.
Fun. Yeah. And so shout out to the VIPs, the legit ones. There were some names we know who support this podcast and watch the podcast. So you know who you are. Thank you very much.
We got love for you, yeah. And legitimately, if you do want a bonus episode of this podcast, you can subscribe to our Patreon for bonus episodes every Tuesday.
Patreon.com/ADIVPod, $5 a month, and you get an extra episode every Tuesday. But enough about that. Tom, should we crack on? How you been anyway? You been okay?
Good. Plowing on, working. Just a quick update. Did meet dog situation lands next weekend, and did meet my girlfriend's boss and entire work friends.
Oh yeah, because this was Patreon only that we talked about this.
Yeah. I was nervous, listeners, but I met them. We're at a pub closed, classic because of the garden. They were like, oh, what are we going to do next? My girlfriend was like, why don't you all come back to mine? Our entire office, boss, finance director. I'm stuck in an Uber with a finance director, just me and him, who's like a nice guy, but he is telling me he's Canadian. He was like, dude, don't get married. What you want to do is you want to gift your partner your property, and then you save so much on taxes. Don't get married. And I was like, oh God, I've just met you. Okay.
This is so good, man.
Oh, it was absolutely insane. And they all just got absolutely destroyed. And then someone ordered, obviously it was on the company card, but ordered what must have been about 20 Domino's pizzas.
Wow.
And yeah. So our neighbors think that we are just fat shits, basically. But yeah, it was a party. They all seemed nice.
This was a Tuesday night, wasn't it? Well, 2 point Domino's Tuesdays, fair play.
It's true. Yeah.
But how did you do? Did they like you? Because we talked about it at length on the Patreon, and famously you give off a bad first impression because people think douchebag, why is he still wearing Hollister, all this sort of stuff. Classic stuff. But also
he put the whips in his own jeans. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. When you're still getting ready to go out, your girlfriend's there like, come on, Tom, we need to go. And you're like, but babe, it's not ripped enough. What the hell? You're going to make me rip it too much. God.
Yeah. So no, they you know what? They were all really lovely people, and we all had a laugh, and everyone got really drunk. But I think it was the first time the office had been back together in a long time, so everyone was up for a bit of a party.
It's the ones when people sit you down and be like, you know what I'd do if I was your age, and you're like, oh no, he's gonna say the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I remember some guy said to me once on a drunken thing, and I forget what it was, whether it was a work thing or a comedy thing, but some dude, he was in his 40s, and he was like, mate, if I was your age again, I would grab every ass.
Yeah. There's a lot of the older men they always say just go for it. Just go for it. Just do it. But what they're actually saying is just if you ever get the opportunity to shag, fucking take it. That's because you'll regret it. Yeah.
What they're saying is 25-year-old women are no longer attracted to me, and I wish I could shag them. So please do it and tell me what it's like. It's so weird.
That's the vibe. But no, in general, really lovely people, and I actually look forward to hanging out with them all again. So that's good.
Sweet. Well, that's nice. And girlfriend, partners, did well, did all right. No, was there feedback?
No, there was. It was all good in the hood. To be honest, I think everyone just wanted a bit of a party. Not that fussed if I was there or not, but whatever. It's party time. Yeah, right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on with a bit of news. We'll start with the Noel Clarke news that's broken today. I don't know if listeners will be aware of this probably by the time this goes out. Is that he has been retracted from BAFTA. They've taken his awards away from him because of 20 women have come forward with claims of sexual harassment and bullying in the workplace and on his film sets. just 20 again. That's I would believe it if it was just one, but 20 is a staggering amount.
I was talking to you about it before we went live, but reading the article is really, it's really like darkly comic in the way it's written, because it's like, allegations of sexual assault. His BAFTA award that he received last weekend has been rescinded. Noel Clarke has come out and said, I absolutely refute these allegations. And he says something about, I've been a champion for diversity and inclusion my whole career, and I will prove that this is false. And it says all that. And then the next line is, 20 women have come out and said you're a fucking sleaze. So it's like, because at that point you're like, well, maybe it's just someone who's got a vendetta against it.
Yeah. It's like one, it's fuck. We should believe everyone, obviously, but like 20 is just, it's the Chappelle. It's 20.
Cosby too many.
Yeah.
I was interested to see as well that Michaela Cole, the lady who did I May Destroy You, which was one of the, for me, it's definitely one of the best TV shows of last year. If not the, very tough to watch, but is excellent. She is a non-white British person in the industry. She tweeted it out, so that makes me think that she might be.
I mean, it's not a racial thing.
She might know.
Sure, it doesn't matter.
Well, but as in Noel Clarke's thing of like, I've been big in diversity and inclusion, therefore I should be allowed to. I don't know what his point was, but therefore I should be allowed to. I think it doesn't mean that you need to.
They're completely two different points: diversity, inclusion, and non-sexual harassment. That is sexual, like completely. Doesn't matter. That's crap. But so harsh that he goes to the BAFTAs, right?
Brilliant.
Wins an award for his BAFTA, right? And then just bang, straight after, just all gone. Like,
as we were talking about as well, like, do you think the Guardian knew?
Yeah, of course.
He was going to get the BAFTA. They wait, and then.
Well, they'd obviously been working on this story for months. Yeah. So they had known. So it would have been like, whether they knew he was going to win the BAFTA or not, who knows? But like, savage for I would have to let him have his. Maybe they were trying to be nice. Like, if you want to break bad news, tell them after their birthday. I don't know. Like, what's that?
I wanted them to do it Kanye style when he's up there getting the award. Come on, grab the mic, hey, yo.
Yeah. Take it back. Give
the award back. Should have gone to the sky. I think that's he's had a pretty topsy-turvy week. I do wonder though, this is good TV shit though. Like, if anything, it's a TV show that maybe could be directed by Noel Clarke, but it's like the rise and fall of this dude, this sort of like creative director who, because I remember kidulthood and adulthood were big.
Doctor Who, mate. Doctor Who back in the day with Billy Piper.
He wasn't on it for long though. He just came and
but like kidulthood, adulthood, just massively infulential films.
I never watched Brotherhood. I was done by them, but those.
I've seen it all, mate.
Yeah, I bet you have. The same way with your mates, be like, mate, you heard the new Stormzy album? Absolutely,
so good.
Honestly, it's like his dottiest one yet. Honestly,
I've been listening to him since back in the day, like when he's doing his underground shit,
Yeah, mate. Oh my god, Know Me From. That was like my tune of 2013.
Yeah. When he did Shut Up in the park, I was there. I was like on the other side of the park looking at it.
They told me to leave, but I was like,
no, mate, you can't stop me. I'm just gonna look from over here.
Actually, this is a public plaque. I'm not. I don't have to. So that. But Kidulthood and Adulthood as teenagers in London were huge films for like actually displaying sort of a culture that wasn't being displayed in modern media. But anyway, he has now become his own work of fiction. He is this guy who's made these brilliant films. He's represented the people. This isn't mainstream media. I'm going to tell the actual stories of people in London and gone on to be a very prevalent British filmmaker of the last 15 years and rose to the top, gets his award for lifetime services to BAFTA. British film and television. What a hero.
Yeah.
4 days later, scumbag.
Absolutely brought down with an article and just destroyed. And all projects being pulled, BAFTA rescinded all the awards. Do you think when they rescind an award, do you think a bloke goes around your house and knocks on your door and goes, "Come on, mate, Give it up. Here we
Come on,
go.
mate.
Come on, fella.
It's like, do you ever hear about it's a wonderful story about Mike Tyson, right? So when Mike
Right.
Tyson was at his pomp, everyone still knows who he is, but this is peak Mike Tyson.
Prime, yeah.
He'd go out to the club, right? He's got his whole crew. Girls, obviously, he's in the VIP section. The women are coming up to him, whatever. He tells them, he's like, hey, let me buy you a Mercedes. Let me buy you a Mercedes. And then they're like, oh, Mike, and then he actually would go and do it. That they'd go
and buy the Mercedes.
They'd go and buy a Mercedes for this girl.
Yeah.
They'd spend the night together, whatever.
Yeah.
Then later that week, one of Mike's mates would come over and be like, yeah, he's just playing, give him the keys back. they'd go and take the Mercedes back.
Yeah. Mike wants it back. Come on.
And then give it. I feel like that's the sort of thing that happens with this. They go, come on, man, give it back. BAFTA,
come on.
But then also makes me think as well, BAFTA, right? How many people know? People must know that people get reputations. I myself had never heard anything about Noel Clarke.
No,
sometimes
never.
you get a vibe with someone like this, or someone says, especially because we're in comedy now, so we sort of get a little bit more gossip. And sometimes someone will say, "Oh, watch out! I tell you who is a sleaze, who you don't." And they'll say, "I've never heard about it. Have you heard anything about it?"
No, nothing. I mean, to be honest, my sort of my kidulthood, obviously, bit of a bad guy. But by the time adulthood and brotherhood came around, what a hero, what a saint! I thought, what a lovely guy,
Yeah. That's when he started.
Yeah, that's when it turned. Yeah.
If you play bad guys in films, then that's because you're morally okay. But if you come out, it's like we say with comedy, where it's like the most sort of I'm a man of the people person in comedy is the guy who's fucking sexually assaulting women backstage. But the dude who comes on and says the most offensive shit is like the guy who does loads of charity.
Goes home and drinks tea and it's very true. But I don't know. I don't know. This is quite bad for British film in particular. He was such a pivotal figure, and I just think because I think he's won like other BAFTAs. I think didn't he win like Rising Star back in the day, and like he would have run other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how many of like legit sort of best acting, directing, whatever awards he's won. He's definitely very acclaimed in those circles of like and will have won Rising Star stuff or I don't
think he's ever won it for like best. I don't think Kiddo had. I mean, they're not won best film.
They're Oscar winning, aren't they?
Yeah.
Imagine that, some American Tom Cruise there being like, and the award for best picture, best motion
goes
picture.
to Stormzy in best actor.
He's absolute road man from West London.
Yeah. But just a pivotal figure in British film. So sort of sad to see that go because he did make some amazing stuff, but also if it's a scumbag,
let's see.
Ousted, good.
Yeah. Let's see. Innocent until proven guilty, but as you said, when it's 20 women, you probably know what the deal is.
But it's like I feel like with 20, like the Guardian would have just put out feelers. I don't know how these things work, but I imagine they interview one person comes forward and then they start digging around for other people who've worked with him or like something like that.
I'll tell you what they probably do is they probably say he did this on the set for this, and then they start asking everyone else. They try and find all the other women who are working on that project. Yeah, and that's probably how they do it. I'll be well into this. Man, shame. It's a shame. But also sorry for these women who've been, who've had to suffer victim themselves on it. Moving on to other shady dealings in positions of power, Boris Johnson has been getting out his flat.
Yeah, so with Boris Johnson, so apparently you're allowed up to 30 grand to spend on renovations. His bill, his bill came out at £200,000. So he's gone a little bit over there on flat renovation costs.
Sometimes these projects get out of control.
I've seen the state of kitchens. Very expensive these days. How many cupboards do you want? Do you want what oven? The things can rack up.
We can't just have any TV for
Yeah.
this. That I need to be in tune with the news, so that's why I have a home cinema system.
Yeah, the 4K quantum dot. I couldn't bloody do it without it, you know.
It is just a basic need to have a port and a sherry decanter as
Yeah.
part of the flat. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm a man of the people. You know, I didn't realize, bruv, but is Carrie Simmons 33?
Yeah, she's really young.
Bro, I didn't even know that, man.
Yeah.
She's literally 20 years younger than the
Yeah.
geezer, and he is not an in shape bloke.
No,
Fucking hell, man. Power really does get
it's
you.
love. It's love.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's what it is. I love that. That's always the saying. People don't respect us, but it's love. And it's like, we know what's going
if he
on.
wasn't the prime minister and he just had a regular job, you would not go out with that man.
You know, this geezer's the same guy. It's so, I have so much distaste for him, but I almost am starting to respect the level of fucks
Not
that this
giving a
guy
fuck.
doesn't give.
Yeah.
He paid off the woman who sucked him off
Yeah.
for a sewer junction, 140k off of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
And my man is untouchable. He's literally this dude. The Tories keep going up in the polls.
Yeah.
Man. It is super Trump style, man.
Untouchable Trump shit.
Jesus.
Yeah. But it's like, if you don't paint yourself as a good guy, you know, you just go like, I'm a bad guy. Then when you do bad shit, people are like, well, yeah, I know.
Yeah, literally. But that is so true. Anyone listening to this, that is so true. People will like you more if you are doing bad stuff and paint yourself as, I'm not a hero, I'm no saint, whatever. I do whatever I want all the time. People respect that more than someone who is supposed to be virtuous and slips up like once. And then people are like, well, you know, what a fucking wanker. I can't believe anything the person says. But yeah, man, it's another one where, and there's something, I can't remember the line, but it's something like he said, this looks like a John Lewis disaster. The idea that he couldn't go John Lewis. And if you're not listening in the UK, John Lewis is a very fancy store for middle class people. You know, it's where you get the, you know, well, you can't beat this in the pricing. You can't beat this quality.
You know, high end, high bloody end, yeah.
But it's not good enough for old Mr. Prime Minister Johnson.
No, he wanted that hand painted wallpaper.
Did you see the room that went round that said it was his?
What?
This was big fake news, not gonna lie. And it's so people just started saying that it was this really ugly room.
Right.
And it was this room that's actually sad. So there's two bits of this. People just started saying, I can't believe he's done this, and just posted this picture of this really ugly room. And everyone was, and then that just got picked up as like, everyone was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But it was fake. That wasn't what it actually looked like. The second thing is that room was actually picked up from a designer's website. So,
if you it's poor designers getting mugged. If you ever want to look at a very funny Instagram page, go on Please Hate This, right? And it's design ideas, interior design, and like buildings and stuff they've just cocked it up, and it's just hideous to look at. And like they've tried really hard and used like really interesting like techniques and stuff to make these things, but it just looks horrendous, like perfect. And like the designers sometimes comment on this, being like, "Look, I tried really hard here. Can you not repost this? Like this is savage."
Oh, so brutal. Poor, but that is very there's a lot of humor in that, isn't it? There's a lot of humor in people trying really hard to make something different and just
Crappy design.
So moving on to less fun news. It's been a busy week for news. But starting today, there is a social media boycott by leading football teams, rugby teams, cricket teams. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're boycotting social media because the racial hate that players are getting after poor performances is unacceptable. Well, it is unacceptable. This is an initiative that they're doing in order to try and get people to raise awareness of this and to take accountability of themselves, and also for the social media companies to create some sort of action around it. What do you think about this, Tom? Do you think it's a bit of virtue signaling? Do you think it is a really great idea?
I think it's very positive, but I'll be interested to see. I reckon no football player will post, but you know, are they going to stay off the DMs? I think not. I think Premier League footballers.
Yeah, Yeah, social media boycott
It's
against
like, nah,
posting.
like obviously I'm not gonna post nothing, but obviously like if people DMing me, I'm not gonna not reply. Like, come on,
Yeah.
come on.
Speaking of footballing DMs, I actually got this message from my dad today. He got it from his mate, his old mate, he's known for ages, and
Yeah,
they said this to him. Ali's name just cropped up. Jean, who I assume is his mate's wife,
yeah,
stalks footballers and their wags on social media. And Michael Nottingham (brackets now at Aki) close
right.
brackets wife included Ali dressing up on her Instagram. So
Wow,
if you
you're
are
in
Michael
Michael.
Michael, I assume his name's Michael Nottingham,
Yeah,
and Aki means Accrington Stanley.
yeah,
Also,
yeah,
the level of niches that Jean, shout out
yeah.
Jean, is
Gene
stalking the wives and girlfriends of Accrington Stanley players.
players. What
They're
league are Lincoln Stanley in? They what, League One?
I would say League Two.
Mm.
I mean, it's a very high level for
Yeah,
me to ever.
yeah.
I'll never achieve that in a million years. But the fact that the stalking is of that level.
Hey, I'm
Um,
impressed.
but look, big shout out to Michael Nottingham's wife and or girlfriend or partner for watching the show. But they're in the DMs. That's still happening, 100%. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Like this one, because a lot of people are saying, and a lot of football fans, a lot of football commentators I respect are saying like, "Oh, this is just tokenism," and well, you know, you're not doing anything about it. But at the same time, like something needs to get done. The amount of fucking dickheads, look, and this is two white men solving racism once again. But we know.
She's gonna solve it.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
mean?
yet again, it's a straight white man who's got a
Here we
sword.
go. Here we bloody go. Yeah.
Yeah, so look, we don't come from a place of understanding. I will, in terms of the actual emotional effects of this thing, but what I see from these idiots who call themselves, I'm a Man United fan, call themselves Man United fans, and we'll all be singing and shouting and how much I love United, and then so a player like Rashford, Marcus Rashford, who is a genuine living saint, will have a bad game, and they all come in and it slurs. It's like fucking. You realise we live in London, and you think times have moved on. So many places they haven't. They haven't. And look, that's not to say London is perfect, but so much part of the world, people think, oh, woke culture is ruining everything. It ain't, bruv. There's still a lot of disgusting. Because there's one thing where you're saying, like, oh, has that got racial undertones? Is that maybe that's racially charged? Maybe there's subconscious racism. There's that conversation. There's also the conversation of blokes just calling people a fucking idiot monkey
Yeah.
because they're black and they had a bad game. And it's
There's
fucking disgusting.
with racism. There's I think hatred and ignorance are two completely different things when it comes to racism. There's people making dumb comments because they're ignorant and they need slightly a bit more education to be like, oh no, you can't say that anymore or something. Or, you know, certainly amongst football fans and older generations and young still, that, you know, there'll be people who talk in certain ways, then you'll be like, mate, you can't say that anymore, kind of thing. But there's no venom and hatred behind it. It's just they're just old men talking like how they've always spoken, kind of thing. And then there's this active vile hatred where it's like, you know, you're going so out of your way to be horrendously racist to someone that, like, it's, you know, that at the bare minimum is what has to be stopped online. And like, you can't have people screaming the N-word at players online.
Yeah, and it's teenagers, it's people in their 20s. Like, this is not some sort of legacy older generation stuff. So something needs to be done about that. And I think a social media boycott, look, we'll see. Maybe it might raise some awareness on this sort of stuff. But also, there's a chance that it might then just rile these other people up more. I honestly don't know. But I think it's interesting, and it's an interesting thing to do. And I look forward to seeing the results of it. Just quickly, there's so much news today, this week. But just quickly shout out, over 40s getting their vaccination. Whoop, whoop. So that's more people to enter the club come June 21st.
Can't wait.
The over 40s are there, baby.
Can't wait.
Get some wham on.
Yeah, can't wait. Over 40s, party time. We're not going to get ours. Vaccine passports. You know, Ibiza this year, older crowd. Bring back the 90s, because that's just going to be there.
Ease are good.
Yeah, Venga boys.
Are good.
It's gonna be Fat Boy Slim. The Venga boys.
The Venga bus is coming. The Venga bus is coming, and everybody's pumping.
The Venga boys, Darude, Fat Boy Slim.
Hey, audio sounds sick.
Basement Jacks. It's going to be an absolute pie.
Oh, bangarang. But yeah, so shout out, well done,
Chemical Brothers. They're 90s DJs. Chemical Brothers.
Yeah, but if they're doing over 40s, Tom, you can't be far away now. I mean, you must be.
You know,
What, your category below that?
Yeah, just one or two. But yeah.
When they get for the over 38s, then you'll be in business. We'll be cooking.
Perfect. Cannot wait.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are now going to move on to fail mail. Fail mail this week. We asked the good listeners, you guys.
No, not fail mail, Tom. That's how many times have you done this podcast, mate? Agony Uncle before fail mail.
Oh, sorry. God.
He's trying to get out. So let's quickly just move on to fail mail in 5 minutes and then we're done.
Yeah, we're out. Jobs are good in. I'm off home. Yeah. Go on. All right, Agony Uncle, but not in a weird way.
Not in a weird way. Just your uncle giving you some advice.
Some sage, good advice about,
Mate, my dad didn't bother with that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? You just get going.
Yeah. Party on.
So thank you very much for people sending in their life mares, the things they're struggling with this week. And apologies that we can't get to all of them. And we hope we give you strength and love during your issue. Well, I do anyway. Tom obviously wants to pack up and head out to the pub. But this is what's interesting, Tom, about this one is that 3 people sent in very similar issues.
Okay, this is going to be good.
So let's go for this one. We've had ones this week as well, which are very similar in terms of what we talked about before, in terms of letting someone down after a date and stuff like that. But this one, with 3 separate people, don't know each other, I assume. So one is, I hate one of my flatmates. He's so annoying. Next one after the other as well. They sent these in. Next one, maybe they've just got 3 accounts. Roommates who do not respect rules or find it super hard. And then my housemate is super messy. Brackets, not the footballer. Lol, we'll do the jokes. That's all right, mate. But it's probably a better joke than we've had on here. Yep. But he brings home free craft beer.
Oh,
okay. So I think we'll get these 3 in an umbrella. Tom, how do you deal with housemates that are rude or messy? How do you go about dealing with that very sensitive situation?
I think you just got to talk to him. I think you just got to talk to him. Sorry, you froze there for a second. That's why. But you just got to talk to him. You just got to talk to him. Communication is key. I think the resentment builds up, like in any relationship. Even if it's with a partner, a flatmate, whatever. If nothing is said, that's when the resentment builds up. So I think regular communication and expressing your queries and problems with each other. Be it a house meal. I think a good idea is if it is possible once a week, just to try and eat as a house. I know everyone's busy, people are going back to work, whatever. But as a house, if you could get everyone together and just have a meal, and then you can sort of get chatting and then air your problems there. That's quite a nice way of doing it. So I think just communicate your issues. If the problems persist past the communication, then you can obviously get more annoyed. And then if it keeps persisting, well, then you just got to move out. But that's, I think, first port of call, sit down, ideally try and get a time where everyone can have a meal and then everyone can air their grievances. And that probably will make things a lot better. Good
advice, I'd say, Tom. Yeah. The worst thing you can do is just let that resentment build. You don't want to talk to them about every little tiny detail, but if you just say, hey, can we have a chat? I feel like it'd be good to clear the air, just so you know. And also just, I mean, this is a very difficult conversation. I have problems with it. I've been on both ends. I've been the one that's been annoying people, and I've been the one that's getting annoyed. And I live alone. But they'll
be like, Ali, sorry, can you keep the crying down at night? It's actually
it's actually from flats around me. We can't have you playing I Can't Live If Living With You
every night. Yeah.
But yeah, talk to them as soon as you can get that conversation going, and try and come from a place of look, I'm not trying to have a go at who you are. I'm just saying these things, they affect me, and let me know what I do that affects you, and maybe we can come to more of a compromise that's going to make a happy house for both of us, because they got to live with you as well. So if you're upset with them, that's not going to be fun for them either. Mm-hmm. So just be like, look, this is go into those conversations with the prospect that we're moving forward. This is for us to both have a happier house. And that's a good, rather than be like, this is all the things that you do that piss me off. Stop it.
Yeah.
But secretly, that is what you want to have.
Yeah, of course. You're trying to get that point across, but by honestly just having and I know it's hard in London when people are in and out and doing this, that, and the other. But if you, because obviously you'll have a house WhatsApp, be like, hey guys, I'm gonna cook dinner. Should we do dinner on Sunday evening? Because that's probably a time when most people are in. Just an hour out of everyone's day. If you've got a table, great, you can sit around it. But if it's just a living room, whatever, and just have food. Food is always a good thing to bond over,
yes.
and then you can chat.
Yeah, and also that's what I learned from my dealings. I went interrailing because I'm just a really like soulful guy that want to find myself. But yeah, I went around Europe.
Unique and original.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know, I just cut my own cloth, I guess. But this is, I went with 3 other blokes, all hungry boys, and we would always get bitty and ratty with each other at about 6, 7 before we ate, and then we'd have dinner and we'd have a good laugh. Don't talk to people on an empty stomach. That's my point.
Anger, rage. Yeah.
Have some food, fill the belly, feel good, feel nutritious, and then maybe start talking about this sort of stuff. It's a good time to have a difficult conversation. I will tell you quickly.
Don't eat nothing and then have a few drinks and then just fucking.
Yeah, that's the opposite. Yeah, that's the worst thing. I'll tell you what, I'll bring this up. I'll bring it up at 1 a.m. when we're seshed.
Yeah.
And there's really a lot of negative air.
Yeah. A lot of tension.
And people have had angry drinks as well. It's not like we've had a glass of wine. It's like people have been having vodka rums.
Or even better, at sort of about 10 a.m. after a big night when everyone's really hungover. And that's when I'll start pointing the finger and backing people into corners.
And throwing stuff around. Do that as well. Throw stuff around. Show your dominance.
Bring shit up from about a year ago as well. That's the best.
That's what. And don't tell them that you had that in your head. Just be like, this is, this is just like you did 4 months ago.
With that pot, Malcolm.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. But yeah, I'm lucky enough that I've obviously lived with some houses that have had some friction. Obviously, never lived with an absolute horror show.
No, me either, actually.
Yeah.
Well, besides the 80-year-old man I lived with at uni, but that was tense. I won't lie.
Listeners from day will know about Tom's 80-year-old man at university. The 3 fun-loving times of uni living with the bloke from Up.
But
he's not cute. He's not cute and sweet.
And he's a nightmare.
He's the start of Up. He's the guy at the start of Up.
It weren't good.
Doesn't learn any lessons. Doesn't learn to love. But I did. There was one lady I lived with for a bit, and I remember at uni. And she, look, we're still friends to this day, but she was not a very messy person and leave stuff out and all mess and all over the, like in communal space, like kitchen and all that sort of shit. And as a house, we were like to her, like, you've got to keep, like, this is just, you can't just keep doing us like this, man. Like, this is. And she turned around eventually and was like, my mum learned to stop asking me to do things and you'll learn eventually too.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You're out. You're done. You're done.
Yeah. But when you don't live with them, better friends. Right. Yeah. Do you want to move on?
Fail mail. This is quite good for sort of linking with our bad housemate. We asked you lot what your worst habits were. What your worst or funniest or weirdest habits. And we had some odd habits come in. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, so I'll start with some classics here. So we got sitting down to piss. I'm a boy. Whatever. Okay, it's a bit odd. Okay, we'll get a bit more gross. Eating my foot skin. What the hell? Who's just chowing down? That's like Gold member, like in Austin Powers.
Shit, bro. Your foot as well,
it's so gross. Okay, I've got having to read a book before bed even when drunk. But
Nerd.
Imagine coming back absolutely blitzed and just diving into some Chaucer, just like, okay.
Yeah, mate. Oh, mate, if I didn't do enough sins during the night, I came back and read Pride and Prejudice when I got back.
Oh, yeah, War of the Worlds. Here we go. God, it's cracking into a novel.
Mate, what a long night. Fucking hell. I got back at 6.
You have a one night
reading Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You have a one night stand, right? You do your biz. He passes out, right? Or like he's like, right, I'm just gonna start going to sleep. And then what? You just whip out your book and start.
Yeah. And then just look at it and be like, well, at least I'll have some entertainment tonight.
Yeah.
Hope this ending more satisfying than whatever that was.
Yeah. Goblet of fire. Here we come. Okay. Okay. So we also got opening other people's posts. Okay, that's weird and slightly criminal.
That's illegal, bro.
Yeah.
Weirdest habit isn't. It's not a fucking. It's not. Well, it is actually. It's like the confession booths, right? Fair.
Yeah. I wish people would stop bragging on these. I wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym. Like, what the fuck?
Mate, honestly, like, I wish I didn't. I know it's so weird.
Such
like,
a bad,
so
crazy
weird.
habit.
Yeah, like, I know I'm such a freak. Weird. Like, I wish I could be like you and just like, not care about my body. Like, I just love to have that freedom to just like let my body like sag and be gross, but I just can't. Embarrassing, whatever. Will you put up with me?
I have to tap every biscuit on something hard before I eat it.
It's a fucking piece of gold.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Good enough for me. Good enough.
Good, man. What is going on there?
Yeah, that's definitely a biscuit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was he thinking? He's gonna
cheese.
He's gonna cheese. Yeah. I'll just make sure it's not some sort of soft cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Picking my nose with a toothpick. Oh, just gross.
Well, look, I don't know. Maybe that's more hygienic, but that is also a risky game because I'm sure it's gonna pierce.
It's gross. And finally, can't drive with my shoes on, only with socks. But I feel like quite a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. As long as it's safe. As long as that's well, some good shit there. I've got some as well. Always pulled single hairs. No, always pull singed hairs out of pork scratchings with my teeth. And consume still. I like
weird.
Consume still. Avoiding walk over 3 drains in a row. Then also this is friend of the show, Leanne, who always gets to us on Fail Mail. So hi, Leanne. Thanks for coming. My son says checking Instagram all the time. Classic. So what you had with the feet one, bite my nails and the skin around them. Yeah, that is a sort of common one. Still a good thing to avoid. I try and avoid doing that. It is tough though. Dumpster diving. But in these ecological times, unless it's food, maybe that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think dumpster diving does incite that it is food, but that is very.
Dumpster diving, because I normally see it in cartoons, it makes me feel like it's a lot more wholesome than I think it probably. You know, when in cartoons, like they jump into a dumpster and they come out like a banana thing, and they're like, look at what we found. Whereas in reality, like. Bins are fucking gross.
There's some Vice documentaries on it if you're ever interested. So you can have a look. Yeah, of course.
You watch that. Yeah. Tom, did you do the editing? Nah, mate, watching this Vice documentary.
Yeah.
To be fair, Tom always does the editing. Fair play. Taking tea bags with me wherever I travel, just in case, but never actually drinking it.
Oh, okay.
Bringing your own tea
bag. To be fair, my mum does that as well. It's just like stresses her out. She doesn't have tea, so.
Can't sleep when someone stays over because I always have music on during the night, or I can't sleep.
I would love to know what tunes. It'd be so good if it was just death metal. Just like, again, you have like a one night stand and you're just like, oh, sorry, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Bang, bang. Anyway, good night.
Imagine this as well, where you're just like, okay, I'm a bit tired. But no, stay over. I'm probably just gonna go sleep, and then they just go click.
Yeah.
Rule Britannia. Britannia rules away. So eating sweets in odd numbers, can't even finish on an even number. So I guess you have to. It's like darts. You have to sort of calculate when you've got.
Oh, that's weird.
You've got 4 left. You have to eat 3 in 1.
Stress you out if you only get down to 1. Yeah.
Twizzling my armpit hair.
Oh, okay, that's gross. That is gross. She must be an absolutely trooper.
That was from I assume you identify as female, but so putting a bra on in the same way like a t-shirt pulled over my head, which I think I don't know how. Sounds like a good way to put it on. I hate drying my body with a towel after showering. I wear my robe until I wait, and I'm completely dry.
just logging out that process for so long.
20 minutes just sitting there in your robe. And then finally, I like to suck the corner edge of my bed sheet to help me get off
Oh,
to
oh,
sleep.
okay, that's gross. That's
So
just gross.
imagine that. You've stayed over at someone's and
Yeah,
then they get out a book, put on
yeah,
some death metal, and then start
yeah.
sucking the bed sheet.
I think the music on is absolutely amazing. Just, I would love to know what tunes you're playing. It'd be so
Let us
good if
know.
it was something like
Yeah,
Slipknot.
message in what tunes do you listen to go to sleep. But that is fail mail. Thank you so much for everyone who sent theirs in. It was quite harrowing to read them, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, the first skin person, you dirty, dirty bastard. Honestly, I know we don't want to shame anyone here on this podcast, but fuck you, that's gross. You need to sort that out.
Well, yeah, man. I in my head, I think, Tom, that you just wrote down your habits there and read them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
I'm always
cathartic way.
eat my foot skin and picking my nose with the toothpicks.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I've been Tom Elwes. You can follow me at all good social media platforms. Ali,
Alleywood's gigs, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You can get an extra episode every week, patreon.com/ADIVPod. Thank you very much to the Patreon backers who back us already. It's awesome that you do that. Thank you so much.
cheers.
I want to say as well, me and Tom know that some live gigs, they're in the works. They're coming. So
Coming down the pipe.
cheers, Mario.
Yeah.
But if you want top bands like this, then you keep checking on our socials, because I'm starting to think that there might be some live gigs starting to post. So it's exciting times. Fingers crossed, things go ahead, and just check them out. All right. But otherwise, take care. Look after yourselves. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week. Patreon backers, we'll see you Tuesday. The rest of you lot, you rabbly lot, you failures, we'll see you on Friday. Also, as well, Tom, I think we should come up for a name for the Patreon crew. So let's have a think about that. Patreon people, if you have any ideas for a name for the elite club of Patreon,
because we are having a great time over there on Patreon, and other people need to step up and either jump with us or get off the train. No, don't get off the train. But
check when I listen to next week.
Yeah.
Well, they said, but anyway.
They said leave, and I've been looking for a while, an excuse. So. All right, guys, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye-bye.